Daniel and Johnny are training each other. We're gonna be getting a Cobra Kai prom, and most importantly, Terry Silver is back. All right here on the Cobra Kai Season 4 trailer. Let's break it down. Bonsai! I'm the Cobra Kai Kid, and the trailer for Cobra Kai Season 4 has officially dropped. We have a bunch of new footage, and we also have the official release date for Season 4, which is December 31st. Now, when they announced about a month ago that Season 4 was coming out in December, I was hoping that they meant in the beginning or the middle of the month, but Season 4 is literally going to be released on the last day of December. We just found that out, and although we have to wait some more time for it, at least it's coming in the month of December, and we have a nice New Year's present to look forward to. Now, I did a live stream for Netflix's Tadum, which is the Netflix global event where they premiered this trailer, and I want to show you guys my reaction when they played the Season 4 trailer for the first time. So here's my reaction to seeing the Season 4 trailer. Oh my god!
Many of us used to be enemies. But rivalries don't need to last forever.
Holy!
The All Valley tournament is just a few months away. The stakes are higher than they've ever
Oh my god!
We know that Cobra Kai is going to use every dirty
Oh my god!
There's only one way we're going to be able to beat them.
By kicking their asses so hard.
Oh my god!
They strike first. We'll pre-strike.
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
We're gonna take back the valley.
Take it back in a measured and organized approach.
We bite first.
Oh my god. Oh!
They're not the only ones teaming up.
Ah! What the?
If you would have told me a year ago that our family's safety depended on winning a karate tournament, I would have thought you were joking. Here we are, living in the Twilight Zone.
Oh my god! What? No! December 31st! Oh my god! Oh my god! Holy sh! Holy sh! Oh my god! What? Oh my entire bro! Oh my god! Oh my freaking god! Yo! Don't worry, I didn't break my green screen. It was a close one, but it's alright. Now, we have a lot of footage to break down and to talk about, so let's just get right into it. We start with the high shot of Los Angeles. We can see the whole city. It's very beautiful, and this is a typical Cobra Kai camera angle where they like to get the scenery of the whole LA area. We then cut to a shot of Daniel, Johnny, and their students all at the Miyagi-Do dojo for their new combined dojo that they are about to form. Over this clip, you can hear Daniel's voice say, "Many of us used to be enemies." This is referring to the fact that Daniel and a lot of the kids here were Miyagi-Do, while Johnny and the other kids were Team Cobra Kai, and they definitely had a lot of issues, and there was a lot of fighting and animosity. But now it's time for them to put their differences aside and work together. We then cut to a brand new shot of all the students at the new formed dojo. The scenery is beautiful. The trees in the background look absolutely amazing. The cinematography of this trailer definitely shows that the cinematography of the whole season is going to be amazing and probably the best out of all the seasons. We then cut to two brand new shots of Daniel and Johnny looking at each other, and Daniel says, "But rivalries don't need to last forever." Now, this whole scene is brand new. This is new dialogue. This is new footage. This is what we are going to be seeing in Cobra Kai Season 4. It's important to note, though, that Daniel, Johnny, and all the kids are wearing the same exact outfits that they were wearing at the end of Season 3 when Daniel and Johnny first formed their new dojo. So that means that this scene is going to be the direct continuation from Season 3, Episode 10, December 19th. This is going to pick up right where it left off. We're not wasting any time. There's going to be no time jump. There is not going to be any time that has gone by in between Season 3 and 4. Season 4 is picking up right where it left off from Season 3, and we know from this trailer that it's going to pick up with a speech given by Daniel and Johnny to their new dojo and their new students. We then cut to an epic shot of Daniel training with Samantha, and you can see that they're standing on some sort of platform which hasn't been there in the past, which means it's going to be a new platform that they implement into the dojo, and it's probably going to be used for training exercises. You can see the pond in the back, so that gives you an idea of where this platform is going to be placed. It's going to be placed behind the pond, and this is probably going to be something that they're utilizing a lot. I'm sure it cost money to get it in, so I'm sure they wouldn't just be using it for one episode and that's it, unless Daniel and Johnny are just rich and they just came up with all this money from nowhere. I think this platform is going to be very utilized, and it looks really cool, and they're probably going to do a lot of training exercises here as Samantha is fighting Daniel, her father, and they're doing some training exercises. We then cut to a shot of the same exact scene, just another clip. We know that this is the same scene because of the outfits everyone's wearing. It matches from both clips. In this clip, we now have Johnny training with Miguel, so it looks like they're going to be taking turns. So Daniel fought Samantha in the beginning, and now we have Johnny training with Miguel, and they're doing a sparring exercise on that new platform that they created, and everyone in the background is watching. You can see Mitch, Daniel, Sam, Nate. Now, the interesting thing to note here is that the main person missing from this crew is Hawk. Where could Hawk possibly be? Why isn't Hawk in any of these clips? After all, he is a part of the new Miyagi Fang dojo, or whatever the heck they're gonna name their dojo, so why isn't he there with them? I don't think they just forgot to put him there, or that he just was written out of this scene, or maybe he just wasn't in the mood to train today. I think he's gonna have a separate storyline during this episode. So while the Miyagi Fangs are training, and I'm just gonna call them that for now since we have no other name, I think Hawk is gonna be doing something else, and he's gonna be busy with his own sort of plot line or his own mission, because he's not here training with everyone else. I feel like that would be the only way to explain why he isn't here. And whatever he's doing must be pretty important if he's missing training, because we know Hawk is all about karate and fighting. So the fact that he's not here and he's not doing the karate with them pretty much hints that he's off doing something very, very crucial. We then cut to a shot of the Miyagi-Do dojo. We can see main characters such as Mitch, Dimitri, Chris, and Sam. And then on the left, it looks like that's Daniel LaRusso's arm. They're all sitting down crisscross applesauce. It looks like they're all meditating, so this is obviously going to be one of Daniel's lessons. He's taking the control for this one because we know Johnny isn't exactly at that meditating teaching stage yet. Maybe he'll get there one day, but for now this is Daniel's thing. So I think Daniel right now is taking control of the class. Maybe they just finished their training and now he's bringing everyone inside the dojo to do some meditating and to find their balance and their inner peace, as he would say. Now, throughout these clips, Daniel says this: the All Valley tournament is a few months away. And just to put it into perspective for you guys, when Season 3 ended, we knew that the month was December, and because Season 4 is going to be picking up right where Season 3 left off, we know that the month that Season 4 is going to be taking place in is going to start off in December. And if you're wondering why it's not snowing and why they're all not freezing to death, the show takes place in LA, so that's the explanation. It's hot all year round. And we know that the All Valley tournament is going to happen in May. So that's December to May. That's 5 months. So that most likely means that Season 4 is going to take place in the span of 5 months. Daniel, Johnny are going to be teaching their dojo, and they only have 5 months to train, and same with Terry Silver and KREESE. And something else I want to note is listen to the music from the beginning of this trailer. It's the All Valley tournament music that we heard in Season 1. So that music being played over this tournament is symbolism that everything that they're doing in this season is leading up to that tournament. Everything they're working for, everything they're training for is all going to happen, all going to pay off at that Season 4 finale tournament. We then cut to a shot of Tori punching the punching bag, and I don't really know what the Netflix team's obsession is with Tori punching punching bags. They literally showed this in the Season 3 trailer. I don't know, I guess they just have a thing for that. So here she is punching another punching bag. You can hear Daniel's voice narrating as he says, "The stakes are higher than they've ever been." We then cut to a shot of the Cobra Kai dojo. We can see all the students wearing their white karate gis, and we can see Kyler flipping somebody. He's getting really good at karate, and he's definitely getting ready for this tournament. Even though Kyler is a bad dude, I thought his character was amazing in season 1, and I'm so glad that they brought him back for season 3. I thought he made an awesome addition to Cobra Kai, and I'm hoping that they continue to develop his character in season 4. And I think them showing him in the trailer is very promising, because I think that means we are going to be getting more of an arc and more of a story with this character. You have to remember, Kyler was in the show since the beginning. He was in before TORY, KREESE, Robby, Silver. He was there from the beginning. I think he was even there before Samantha. So I really want them to explore his character more, give him some more depth rather than just being this one-dimensional bully. I want to see a little more with his character this season. We then cut to a mid-shot of Kyler after he had just flipped one of his fellow students onto the ground, and he is screaming. He is in power. He is full Cobra Kai, and he cannot wait to destroy Miyagi Fang. Now, something important to note from this shot, and I'm going to go back to this in a little bit, so remember what I'm saying right now. If you look at the back of the dojo, you can see the poster of John Kreese that he put up in the Cobra Kai dojo. Now, just remember that. We'll get back to that in 1 second. Just remember that that's there. We then cut to a shot of the Cobra Kai students. They're in their formations, and they're looking straight ahead at either Sensei Kreese or Sensei Terry Silver. Now, we can recognize a lot of these characters from the show. A lot of these are extras that we've seen from previous seasons, and the most notable main character from the scene is Kyler, who we can see on the left. Very interesting that Tori and Robby, the two main students of Cobra Kai, are not anywhere to be seen in this clip. Very interesting, and I'm very curious why. Maybe they're off doing something else, I don't know, but the fact that the two star students and the two main characters of the show and of this dojo are not here is a little interesting. Now, something else to note is if we look in the back right, we can see the only girl in the dojo, which probably hints that it's going to just be her and Tori as the only girls, but Tori isn't here, which is making me wonder if this girl is going to have a main role, or at least a reoccurring role. Is she going to have some lines? Is she going to have an arc? Do we know her name? Will we find that out? Or is she just going to be a background extra? But I feel like the fact that she's one of the only girls in the dojo, maybe that's going to be significant in the upcoming season, and maybe there's more to this girl than we think. Now, a couple clips ago, remember when I mentioned the KREESE standout that was in the background of the dojo? When we look at this clip, this far shot of the dojo and the students standing there, if we look in the back where that KREESE cutout was, we can see that it's not there anymore, so it's gone. This tells me that this clip of the students standing in formation is a whole different scene than when Kyler is flipping one of the students, because when Kyler is flipping a student, you can see the KREESE cutout in the background, but then when we cut to this far shot, the KREESE cutout is completely gone and nowhere to be seen. We then cut to a couple shots of Robby Keene talking to John Kreese in the back room of the Cobra Kai dojo. If we look at Robby, we can see the scar on his forehead from Johnny slamming him into the lockers from season 3 episode 10 after their fight.
Buddy, you're a boy, make a big noise, playing in the street, gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you big disgrace, kicking your can all over the place.
Sorry, that wasn't funny. It kind of was. When we cut to Kreese, we can see he has an evil grin on his face, so whatever he's telling Robby, he's definitely happy about it. This scene right here is giving me a lot of deja vu of the scene between Kreese, Robby, and the other Cobra Kai students after they had just successfully stole the snake from the zoo. They're both talking to each other in the back room. Kreese is wearing the same exact gi as he was wearing in that scene, and Robby is wearing a similar jacket, so that's just something that I quickly noticed. I wasn't sure if that was from season 3, that's how identical the clips looked, but we know that this is going to be from season 4 because it is slightly different when you look at it closely. While we see the clips of Robby and KREESE, we hear Daniel's voice say, "We know Cobra Kai is going to use every dirty trick in the book." And we know that's the thing with Cobra Kai, especially now that Terry Silver is in the picture. KREESE and Terry Silver are going to do whatever it takes to win. They're going to cheat, they're going to fight dirty, and they're not going to show any mercy in order to win the tournament. We then cut back to Daniel at the dojo, and he says there's only one way we're going to be able to beat them. And then he gets cut off by Johnny Lawrence, who says, by kicking their asses so hard, they shit themselves. And that is a typical Johnny Lawrence line. He was not going to let Daniel finish his sentence. He knew his answer. That's his answer. That's the way he is trying to teach the kids. But obviously, Daniel completely disagrees and was not going to say that whatsoever. Daniel looks at Johnny confused, and then we cut to Hawk and Dimitri, who also look at Johnny confused like, bro, what are you talking about? And then Miguel and Sam give each other a look like, oh no, what have we done? Is this even gonna work? And that's the big question of season 4, and a lot of what this trailer is trying to make us fans ask. Is the Daniel and Johnny team up gonna work? Are the two of them gonna be able to put aside their differences and be able to be on the same page and train together and come up with one coherent vision of training and then ultimately one plan to win the All Valley tournament? We then cut to a training exercise in the Miyagi-Do dojo with Miyagi Fang, and we know this is going to take place in the first episode because everyone is wearing the same exact outfits. We can see Samantha and Dimitri holding up their fists and pacing in a circle, so they're obviously sparring each other and doing some sort of training under Daniel and Johnny. We then cut to a shot of Johnny Lawrence chucking a water bottle at Dimitri. He's literally 3 feet away from Dimitri, and he just chucks a water bottle at him. This is classic. This is typical Johnny Lawrence. This is so funny. I love the interactions between Dimitri and Johnny from season 1, episode 6. We didn't get too much of it. That was pretty much all we got, and then they never really interacted again. So I'm very excited to see those interactions more in season 4. This is also reminding me of the scene where Johnny throws the beer can at his students from Cobra Kai season 1 episode 8 Molting when they were training in the junkyard. Johnny just has a thing for throwing bottles and cans at kids. I don't know. So Johnny chucks the water bottle at Dimitri. Daniel looks at him like, Johnny, what are you doing? And then Dimitri looks at Johnny like, bro, like, are you crazy? And like, that hurt. In the next clip, Chris is looking stone-faced, and we see Mitch smiling and laughing, probably reacting to Dimitri getting hit with the water bottle, since Mitch and Dimitri didn't exactly have the best of relationships, and they were both on opposite sides. I think it's easier for Mitch to laugh at Dimitri, but for Chris, someone who's on the same side as Dimitri and who's friends with him, Chris wouldn't laugh at his own friend. So this right here is another form of symbolism that the Cobra Kais and the Miyagi-Dos and the Eagle Fangs still have to get along, and they still have a lot of work to do, because if they were getting along, if they were all on the same page, and if they were all friends, Mitch wouldn't be laughing at Dimitri, as Chris isn't even laughing at Dimitri. So Mitch has got some learning to do, he has some growing, and so do a lot of the other students. Now, throughout these clips, we hear Johnny Lawrence's voice as he says, "They strike first, we'll pre-strike." And I love that line. That's just such a funny Johnny Lawrence sign. It makes no sense. Pre-strike isn't even a thing, but he's just trying to make a point that we're going to be the ones that strike first or pre-strike. So I just love that line because it doesn't really make sense. And that's just typical Johnny Lawrence, saying things that don't make sense. Daniel then cuts him off and says, "We're getting ahead of ourselves." We then cut back to Johnny, who says, "We're going to take back the valley." Daniel then cuts him off and says, "Take it back in a measured and organized approach." We then see Miguel and Sam looking at their senseis, and then we cut back to Johnny, who says, "We'll bite first." This is an obvious reference to Johnny's Eagle Fang karate, as he says bite first instead of strike first, because eagles do the biting, you know, they do the shitting, they don't get shit on. And then the very next clip, after Johnny says we'll bite first, is KREESE biting into an apple. And then we cut to a shot of Amanda. So we're going to have another scene between KREESE and Amanda. I love their interactions from season 3. So I'm glad that they're going to pursue them more in season 4. Now, what's very interesting is that KREESE filed a restraining order against Amanda. So how could they be in the same proximity right now? What I'm thinking is they probably just ran into each other. We can see that they're at a grocery store based on the background and all the food on the shelves. So they probably just ran into each other. And I don't think really KREESE cares about the restraining order. It was just more of a point to take a jab at Daniel and Amanda. He doesn't actually need Amanda to be however many feet apart from him. KREESE can handle his own situations. He's definitely not scared of Amanda. However, he does have that restraining order thing in his back pocket. He could always threaten her and say, hey, listen, if you don't leave, if you don't get in my way, I'm just going to call the cops. I got a restraining order on you, lady. Amanda stares at KREESE, disgusted, as he bites an apple right in front of her face. Now, as for what they could be possibly talking about to each other, I have an idea, but it won't make sense until later on. So we're going to keep going with the breakdown, and then once we get to a certain point, I want to revisit this scene because I think something later on in the trailer will definitely tie into this scene between KREESE and Amanda. So let's move on. Now, this clip is awesome. Here we have Daniel and Johnny on that new platform that they built at the Miyagi-Do dojo, and we have Johnny Lawrence doing the freaking crane kick. Who would have thought in all these years that Johnny Lawrence would be doing the crane kick in canon? We have Daniel LaRusso, who is dressed in protective armor, which is a mirror to the Karate Kid when Daniel was training with Mr. Miyagi learning how to punch, and also when Daniel was training with Robby in Season 1, Episode 8, Molting, teaching him how to punch. In this scene, you can see the kids, such as Chris, Mitch, Sam, Nate, and we have Miguel in the background. He's covered by Johnny, but we know that's Miguel based on previous outfits. I love this scene because everyone is laughing and it looks like they're all having a good time. All the students are laughing and smiling at Johnny and Daniel, and it looks like they're playing around. Daniel drops the pads that he's holding, and Johnny, while he's doing the crane kick, he has a fun smile on his face. I love this. I love how they're not going to take their training too serious all the time, and sometimes they're going to joke around and have a good time, and I just love how friendly this environment seems, and now this makes me really want to train with Miyagi Fang. If I could train anywhere, it would definitely be with both Daniel and Johnny and all these kids. I just love this group. As we then see Tori and Robby in the Cobra Kai dojo. We know this is the dojo because they're wearing their Cobra Kai gis, and we see the American flag in the background, which was in the Cobra Kai dojo. Tori turns to look at Robby, and the two of them look at each other. They're probably about to do some training or something. It looks like they both saw something that caught their attention, and now they're looking at each other to get each other's reactions, but we don't really know what it is. We then get the same clip which we saw from the All Valley Tournament Season 4 teaser about a month ago of Daniel and Johnny fist pumping. However, this clip is slightly longer. It has a couple more frames. Now, based on all the outfits, we can kind of put together what scenes are going to be in what episode. So I'm going to really quickly splice together all the clips that are going to be in episode 1 of season 4. We then have some more clips of Daniel and Johnny training in their new dojo, and they're wearing different outfits. We don't have confirmation on what this episode is going to be, but I'm going to predict that this is the second episode. And even if it's not, we know it's going to be in the same episode because of the outfits. So here is that episode. Here are all the clips that we're going to get. Okay, now we're getting our very first glimpse of new character Kenny, played by Dallas Dupree Young. It was announced earlier this year that Dallas Dupree Young and Una O'Brien would be playing two new main reoccurring characters in season 4 by the names of Kenny and Devin. So here is our first look at Kenny. In this clip, we can see 3 characters. We have Nate, Hawk, and Kenny. It looks like they're in the high school bathroom because we can see the stalls in the background. We can see next to Nate on the right, there's a paper towel dispenser, and we can see some posters hung out. It has that general feel of a high school bathroom. Now, Nate is watching as Hawk pins Kenny up against the bathroom stall. Now, even though Hawk has kind of turned to the light side and is training with Miyagi Fang, the question is, why is he pinning Kenny, a younger kid, up against a bathroom stall? Is this him still being the bully that he is? Has he not really changed? Well, something very important to note is Kenny's t-shirt. Look at the logo on his t-shirt. It's obviously a Cobra Kai shirt, which means that Kenny is going to be joining Cobra Kai. We knew from his character description back when they first announced his character that he would be joining a dojo. We just didn't know what dojo. And his character description was a bullied kid who turns to karate to defend himself. Now, this clip is most likely after Kenny joins Cobra Kai, as he's wearing the t-shirt. It could also be that he's just a fan of the dojo, but I doubt it. I think he's wearing it because he's actually a part of the dojo, and maybe Hawk is pinning him up against the bathroom stall. And despite taking things to an extreme level, maybe Hawk is pinning Kenny against the wall and trying to convince him that he shouldn't be in Cobra Kai, similar to how Johnny got in Hawk's face, telling him that KREESE doesn't even care about him and that he shouldn't be in Cobra Kai as well. Maybe this is a mirror of scenes, and maybe Hawk is actually trying to do the right thing here, or maybe he's just being a bully to Kenny. But it's just really cool to see new character Kenny. We've been hearing a lot about him, and it's just awesome that we're getting our first glimpse into his character, and I'm very excited to see him and his arc in season 4. If you guys want to know more about the new character of Kenny, I actually interviewed actor Dallas Dupree Young, who plays Kenny, right here on my channel. So if you want to go check that out, click the link in the card above on the top right and go check out that interview with Dallas. It was an amazing time talking to him, and I think you guys will really enjoy that one.
Yeah, it's very secretive. It's I want to tell people so badly whenever they ask, but I say you just gotta wait till it comes out. It is what it is. But I like to see people speculate and see what happens, because they are really excited for the show, and I'm really excited for y'all to see it because it's going to be really awesome.
Okay, now here we go. We have a clip of Robby Keene, who looks to be dipping Tori at prom. You can see everyone in the background dressed in suits and dresses. You can also see on Tori's wrist, she has a corsage. So the fact that everyone's dressing, the fact that Tori has a corsage on her wrist, and the fact that Robby is dancing with her shows that this has to be a prom scene from the school. Now, what's interesting is both Robby and Tori got expelled from the school after the fight. So how did they get back in? Maybe Terry Silver had something to do with it and he was able to get them back into school, or maybe the two of them crashed to prom and now it's Robby and Tori, and then I could see Miguel and Sam being together, and it's kind of a thing where they're all trying to make each other jealous. And then I think that a fight is gonna break out. I have 2 predictions for this scene. My first one is that it's either gonna take place in season 4 episode 5, or that it's going to take place in season 4 episode 9, and here's why. I think it might take place in season 4, episode 5, because the episode 5 in every episode of every season is always the biggest midway season finale. And what better way to do that than a prom scene and a prom fight? I mean, come on, if they're gonna be going to prom, if they're gonna be doing this where everyone is coming together, the Cobra Kais, the Miyagi-Dos, the Eagle Fangs, there has to be a big fight between all the kids. The reason why it could also possibly be Cobra Kai season 4 episode 9 is because right before the tournament, maybe they have this one get together where all of them kind of reunite, they have fun, and then a fight breaks out or something, and it's kind of this pre-tournament episode mirroring season 2 in a way, where they had the big party in episode 9, and then episode 10, the finale, was the big fight. They might do something like that again. It'll be cool to see some of our Cobra Kai characters dancing, and Robby and Tori definitely look like they got some moves, so that'll be very fun to watch.
Dance team, assemble! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What do you got, Slim Jim?
We then have this scene of Johnny and Carmen in Johnny's apartment, and Johnny is kissing Carmen. They're still together. She's smiling at him, so everything's going really great. But the question is, are they going to tell Miguel that they're together? That was the big thing of season 3. Once Johnny and Carmen got together, they were wondering how they were going to tell Miguel and if they were going to tell Miguel, because it's a very delicate situation. Even though Miguel cares a lot about Johnny and wants the best for his mom, he might not feel good about Johnny kind of dating his mom and being that close with her. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. And what if Robby found out that his dad is dating the mom of his arch nemesis, the kid who he put in a wheelchair and who put him kind of in juvie? I think season 4 is going to get very messy with this plot, and I mean that in an entertaining way. I think Miguel will find out that they're together. I think Robby's going to find out that they're together, and Johnny and Carmen, even though they both love each other and they love being together, it might have an effect on both of their kids, and then it might lead to some drama. So that'll be very fun to see, and fun to see how it unfolds. We then cut to a clip of Tori, and this one is very interesting. We can see she has purple hair and she's wearing a seashell bikini. In the background there's balloons, so it looks like she's at some sort of party or event. Now, I have a couple theories on this. For one, I wasn't sure if this were to tie in with the prom scene, because are they going to do multiple parties? And I feel like that would be the only thing that makes sense. I don't think Tori would be dressing like this to the prom, especially since we saw her in the other clip. She was wearing a leopard dress. And even if that wasn't Tori, everyone else was in dresses and suits. So for Tori to be the only one at the prom wearing this, I don't think that seems realistic. So either they're at another party, probably an underwater themed party if she's dressing up like this. It looks like she's dressing up as Ariel. My other theory is that in order to make money, maybe she's the star of a Little Mermaid production or some sort of kids show. And I know that might be a little far-fetched, but just think about it. She has a younger brother. She needs to make money. She has to do whatever it takes to work, no matter how ridiculous it is. Maybe this job pays well, so maybe she's dressed up like a mermaid and she's at a kid's party trying to make some extra cash to support her family and her mother who's dying. She's doing some sort of kissing motion with her fingers. It kind of looks like she's being sarcastic. Maybe she's talking to someone. We then cut to an epic clip of Daniel high up in the air holding onto a chain, and we can see Johnny on the bottom. It looks like they're in some sort of warehouse or something. Maybe it's the same warehouse that we see in the other All Valley Tournament Season 4 teaser where Johnny is breaking all those cement blocks. We can see Daniel is struggling to climb or to keep his grip, and Johnny's looking up on him, maybe encouraging him. I think this is a training exercise just between Daniel and Johnny. There's no students here. I think this is Johnny putting Daniel to the test, trying to train him and to motivate him. And we can see Daniel struggling because this isn't exactly Daniel's forte. Daniel is more into the balance and the kata and the meditation. This is definitely more of Johnny's style. But because Daniel and Johnny are going to be combining their styles, this could be Johnny telling Daniel, listen, if we're going to be working together, I'll do what you say, I'll work with you, but you also got to work with me, and you got to go with some of the things that I do. You got to learn to strike first, strike hard, and show no mercy, and be a little more tough and competitive. So maybe that's what this scene is right here. And echoing that point, we then cut to Johnny and Daniel at the Miyagi-Do dojo. They're in the backyard, and Daniel is training Johnny while Johnny is on the balance board. It looks like Johnny is doing the wheel technique all by himself, and this is so awesome. So we have Johnny teaching Daniel some of his Cobra Kai and Eagle Fang tactics, and then we have Daniel teaching Johnny the Miyagi-Do side of it, which is so cool. We're finally going to be getting that balance, and I love that both Daniel and Johnny are coming up with this mutual agreement that they're both going to learn each other's ways. I think it's going to take some time for them to both be accepting as to one another and accepting of doing each other's style of karate, but I think at this point, when we see them training together, they agreed that in order for us to win this tournament, we both have to understand the other side of karate that we're teaching and maybe figure out a way to balance it and to mesh it together. So I love this. Johnny is learning Miyagi-Do. First he does the crane kick, and now he's doing the wheel technique. Who knows? Maybe Johnny's gonna be like the next Mr. Miyagi. Now our next clip is very interesting. We can see here that we are in a gymnasium. The focus is on this girl in the middle who is doing a back handspring. On the left of the screen, we can clearly see Johnny Lawrence, and it looks like he's scouting for some new recruits for the Miyagi Fang dojo, and he's coming to this gymnasium to find some athletic people who are wanting to join a karate dojo. Now, while we can't clearly see who this girl is doing the back handspring, I believe that this is new character Devin. Devin's character description is a potential new karate student who is relentlessly competitive, a quick study, and equally quick-tempered when she's provoked. Now, I'm pretty sure if Devin was a gymnast, she would be very competitive and also a quick study when it comes to karate, as she would probably already know a lot of the moves from the gymnastics. So I think this is Johnny Lawrence coming to this gymnasium to recruit students, and maybe Devin is one of the best gymnastics students there, and right now he's talking to the coach about her and trying to recruit her into joining Miyagi Fang and taking down KREESE, Silver, and the Cobra Kai dojo. Now, for a glimpse second, on the left of Johnny Lawrence, you can see another person standing next to him. I believe that is Miguel, who's tagging along with him, but we're not 100% sure since we can't actually see his face. Now, here's where it gets real. We have a shot inside the Cobra Kai dojo. KREESE is facing the back room. He has a smile on his face, and he turns around, and the camera focuses in on Thomas Ian Griffith returning as the one and only Terry Silver from the Karate Kid Part 3. This is the first time we are officially seeing the front of his face in Cobra Kai Season 4. Now, I mean, come on, Thomas looks amazing. We can see Terry Silver is dressed pretty elegantly. He has a nice button-down shirt on, he has nice dress pants, good shoes, and he has a couple watches on his wrist. So it looks like he's still rich, he's still making a lot of money from Dynatox, and this is him coming to the Cobra Kai dojo, which I believe is for the very first time to see KREESE. This is the first time I believe they are seeing each other in a while, and definitely the first time since KREESE made that phone call to him. Now, it looks like KREESE was facing the back room, and Terry Silver said something which made KREESE recognize his voice and smile, and then turn around, and then there they are both looking at each other, old friends once again reunited. I love how KREESE is smiling and Terry just looks more determined. He's not having any of this crap. He's not here to have fun. He's here on a mission to help his friend, and even as soon as he comes into this dojo, he looks like he is ready to fight, and I just can't wait to see how he causes havoc to this season. And this is an amazing, beautiful shot. We have seen this shot so many times, especially with KREESE. We got this back in season 2 episode 1 with KREESE and Johnny. We got this same shot from season 3 episode 8 with KREESE and Robby, and now we have a very similar shot with KREESE and Terry Silver. It's something about KREESE being up close to the camera and another character being in the background that the writers really love, and I knew that this was going to be how they would introduce Silver. KREESE and Terry would meet for the first time when Terry walks into the dojo, and I'm so excited to see this scene and to see their first reaction. I believe that this is going to actually be how season 4 episode 1 ends. I believe this is going to be the end of the first episode, is them seeing each other for the first time, and then we're going to actually see what happens with this scene in episode 2 of season 4. We then cut to the clip of Terry Silver tying his ponytail, the same clip that we saw from the All Valley Tournament Season 4 teaser, but this clip has a couple extra frames, so we can see Terry Silver is really getting back into the Terry Silver that we all know and love. By putting on the ponytail, we can see he's most likely wearing a karate gi, and he's ready to cause havoc. And one of the most epic clips from the whole trailer, Terry Silver is not punching, but demolishing a punching bag. He is smiling. He is having a great time as he destroys this punching bag, probably imagining Daniel's face on the other side of it. It looks like he hasn't really done too much karate in a while, and he hasn't really had a mission like this in a while. So I think he's just excited to step back into this and to step back into being an evil, conniving person like he was back in Karate Kid 3. He's ready for his revenge. He's got the ponytail up. He's looking ripped. He looks in really good shape, and it's going to be an exciting season seeing this guy really mess with everyone in the valley. KREESE literally opened up Pandora's box by giving him that phone call and inviting him back to the valley. Silver is out for blood. Now, while we see this clip of KREESE looking at Terry Silver, we also hear KREESE's voice saying, "They're not the only ones teaming up." This is an obvious reference to Daniel and Johnny, that Daniel and Johnny aren't the only ones teaming up, and he's referring to the fact that now him and Silver are teaming up. But the question is, who is KREESE telling this to? He can't be telling it to Daniel and Johnny because he's saying there, which is talking about them, not to them. I don't think he would be talking about it to Silver, because then it sounds like a whole villain evil monologue. They're not the only ones teaming up, and then it's really talking about them. I feel like that's a little too cliche. But what would make sense, which brings us back to this scene, is KREESE talking to Amanda, which I feel like would be early on in the season, before Daniel and Johnny found out that Silver was back in the picture. KREESE would tell Amanda this. KREESE would tell Amanda, after he finds out that Daniel and Johnny are working together, that they're not the only ones teaming up. And then maybe KREESE tells Amanda to tell Daniel that Terry Silver said hello. And then Amanda goes back not knowing really who Terry Silver is. And when Amanda tells Daniel that KREESE said that Terry Silver is back in the picture, Daniel cannot believe it. He starts getting PTSD, flashbacks of the Karate Kid Part 3, of Terry Silver absolutely destroying and humiliating him and tormenting him. Things that have happened to him as a child that has affected his whole adult life. Terry Silver was a master manipulator who really screwed Daniel up. So maybe this is KREESE's way of trying to provoke Daniel and trying to intimidate him by revealing to him that Terry Silver is back in the picture, and he does this through Amanda. And our last scene from this Season 4 trailer is of Daniel and Amanda. We know that this is going to be taking place in the first episode of Season 4, as Daniel is wearing the same outfit as he wore in the end of Season 3, which we also know will be the beginning of Season 4. Amanda tells Daniel, "If you would have told me a year ago that our family safety depended on winning a karate tournament, I would have thought you were joking. But here we are, living in the Twilight Zone." And then the two of them proceed to drink their wine. Now, I love this scene. I love Amanda LaRusso because she's the only one who makes any logic of anything. Everyone is just fighting for the soul of the valley and just trying to kill each other, and she's the only one like, guys, like, we should call the police. And then obviously that ended up not working out, so now she can't believe it, but she's on board with this whole karate extreme thing, but still it's a little crazy to her. It's pretty normal now at this point to Daniel, Johnny, KREESE, and Silver, but to her, she still can't get over it, how ridiculous the whole thing is, even though she knows it's at a serious point now. So I love that scene with Amanda, and I can't wait to see more funny scenes like that with her, because I think she's one of the best characters on the show, honestly. And then we cut to the screen where it says our date, December 31st, only on Netflix. So there we have it. That is the trailer for Cobra Kai Season 4. It's not the official final trailer, so we are definitely going to be getting a bigger one soon. My prediction is either at the end of November or the beginning of December, since Netflix likes to release their official trailers about a month before the season premieres. Overall, this trailer was amazing. I was so hyped when I saw it. I love the editing. I love how they showed all these different elements without giving away too much. I loved how they showed us how Season 4 is going to pick up, how it's picking up right where Season 3 left off. That's really great for us fans that we know this, because now we know there's not going to be a time jump or anything. It's literally picking up right where it left off. We're not going to be missing out on anything. Cobra Kai Season 4 is coming to Netflix this December 31st. Be ready, because this season is going to be epic. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this Season 4 trailer. Let me know what you thought. Do you have any theories? Did you agree with the breakdown I had to give? Or do you have any thoughts of your own? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on all notifications to never miss a new Cobra Kai Kid video. Hit that like button and share the video with your fellow Cobras and Miyagi-Dos. I'll see you all next time on Cobra Kai Kid. And until then, remember, Cobra Kai never dies.